My name is Felicitas Hernandez Rosales, and I am studying at the State College, the UAP in Puebla, and I am striving to get my degree in English language teaching. Today I am here to tell you about my social impact project. It's for my social service, and I'm going to tell you what the name is. It is providing motivating English lessons in a public middle school based on immediate needs. This is the school that I will be, where I will be carrying out my social service. It is called Secundaria Federal Aguilas de Anahuac. It is a federal school. It is federal school number 8, and the address is Calmecac 4205, and it is situated in Momoxpan, Puebla. It is surrounded by other other schools, all of them private, and these children do not have the same opportunities that the children that study in these private schools have. So it is of my interest to try to help them with some English classes, especially since they have not had an English teacher in about 3 years. They are worried about entering university. They know that they have to have an English test, that they have to pass it, and this has them very, very worried, and I think that they will benefit from some English classes that I can give them. Now let me tell you about the two schedules that they have. They have the morning schedule and the afternoon schedule. Unfortunately though, the children from the afternoon schedule do not benefit, do not have the same benefits as the children from the morning schedule. Why do I say this? At the beginning I was told that there were only 3 classrooms, and it turns out that there are more. The thing is that there are only 3 classrooms open for the students in the afternoon, and none of the others, such as laboratories or the computer classroom, are available to them. Okay, but we will have to work with what we have. We have several sports areas and a soccer field, and we have projectors in every classroom, whiteboards in every classroom. They may not be interactive or intelligent whiteboards, but we can do without. We will also have electricity, running water, there's a sewage system, there's internet, there's a cistern, and there's a telephone. It almost never works, but there's a telephone. And I found out that I can get as many copies as I need, as they have a photocopier machine. Now I will tell you about the participants. I will have 3 groups, first, second, and third. And the first group is made up of 7 boys and 7 girls. This is first grade. They are 14 children in total, and their ages range from 12 to 13. In second grade, we have 10 boys and 13 girls. That makes 23, and their ages range from about 13 to 14 years of age. And in the last group, third grade, we have 14 boys and 9 girls, also 23 students, and their ages are 14 to 15 years of age. Studying, unfortunately, is a challenge for a lot of these children, especially the ones in the afternoon. This is because a lot of them come from very, very humble, from very poor families, and sometimes they don't have enough to eat. They arrive without breakfast, much less lunch, and so they fall asleep during class. It is very hard to teach a class under those circumstances if they are tired, if they are hungry. I say tired because some of them work in the morning to help financially at home. And I only have 6 months to work with them. So this is a great challenge. Sometimes the teachers give them something to eat, but it's obviously not enough. It is well known that in Mexico there are a lot of lags in education, and these lags affect children in a way that they lose interest and they're not motivated in studying. So a lot of them prefer to drop out completely to help financially at home, so they start working and they never go back to school. In this school there is only 2 to 3% of school dropouts, and actually they're not even dropouts. They leave the school because they move to another neighborhood. So that's not a serious problem. Dropping out is not a serious problem. Jazeera in January 2017 said that out of 100 students that study in government schools, only 50 will finish middle school, 20 will finish high school, and 2 of them will obtain a college degree. What are my aims for this course? My aim is to have the students reach an A1 level in the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, which is the CEFR. I want them to be able to interact in a simple manner. I cannot ask for much in that short period of time, but well, to interact in a simple way and to ask and answer simple questions, I think that we can do this. And as I said before, I have 6 months, and we will start in January of 2020 and finish around July of 2020. I can't give you the exact dates because the CEP calendar has not been released, but that's an approximate. The course objectives are for them to read and understand basic tests, short simple text, to engage in short, very simple conversations, to write basic simple sentences, which hopefully will lead to writing a paragraph, and to understand some of the grammatical structures that are important, obviously. And then we have our general objectives. I won't tell you all the objectives in all 4 skills, but I chose reading skills, and I will tell you more or less what these competencies that we want to reach are. I want them to be able to deduce meanings of words, for example. Okay, I want them to understand simple text such as labels, maybe simple instructions, emails. I also want them to read simple signs, notices, posters, catalogs, maybe the information in catalogs such as prices, colors. And I want them to understand phrase or sentence groups. Okay, and from there they are able to obtain the gist, right, of what it is that we are reading. My theoretical framework consists on the following. I am going to be working with project-based learning and the communicative approach, and I'm going to explain each one very briefly because I don't have much time. But I took several definitions from several dictionaries and sites on internet, and I arrived at my own, and I would define a project as a structured outline or plan designed with the objective of reaching a goal or a purpose over a fixed amount of time. That would be a project. Now, why did I choose a project-based learning for this course? Well, number one, to begin with, project-based learning has to be focused on the learner's needs. It must be contextual. It must be interesting. It must have to do with the lives of the children so that they are involved, that they become involved and interested in it. And at the same time, they must fulfill an educational purpose. This was said by Larmer in 2010. Now, why am I showing you this picture? Well, there's a faucet over here, and there's a piece of land on this side, and there are trees surrounding it, and it's a protected area. The reason that I chose this picture is because I want to explain a mini project that I have in mind for these children to help them in a way that I hope will be successful. It may not make a big change in the lives of these children, but, well, I would like to see how far we can go with this. My idea is to have them plant a vegetable patch or vegetable garden. They are going to interact in English. The instructions will be given in English. The vocabulary obviously will be in English. They will learn vocabulary and certain simple instructions. And they're going to be responsible of watering it every day, and that's why I chose the faucet next to it. And the area of trees, the group of trees around it, will protect the garden from other people trampling through it. So they will become responsible of this vegetable garden, and even though 6 months is a very short time and I may not see the results of their work, I will be continually visiting to see how it is coming along and to make sure that the garden is being taken care of. And I would like to see one day these children taking some of the produce home. It is for them. Okay? It may not be much, as I said, but it should help in some way. You know, I mean, if they take something home to eat, as simple as it may be. Now, what is the communicative approach? Well, this approach started in the 1970s and it became very, very popular in the 1990s. And it consists of the following. Students are expected to discover grammar rules by sentences, short texts, comments from the teacher. And the word is elicit. The teacher elicits the grammar points from them, the grammar rules from them, okay? Now, they have a certain list of activities, or a list of certain activities, I should say, that are very, very common in this kind of methodology. For example, they will listen and read for gist, which is obtaining the general idea of the text. They will be drilling. Vocabulary drilling is very popular in this approach. And I'm going to give you a very simple example of the way they drill. For example, if they want to learn a phrase such as, what is your name? They will say, what is your name? But since in English we are very, very used to using contractions, they'll say, what's your name? Repeat, what's your name? And that's one kind of drilling that they do. Another one is when they have a list of vocabulary and they will go over that list back and forth and down the line and back up, okay, teaching them how to pronounce correctly and to give the intonation to certain words and phrases. They will also do some simple role playing, and pair work is very common. Peer check is very common in this methodology. And assembling objects such as, for example, receiving an envelope with a story that has been all, cut up in lines and sentences, and they have to organize the story according to how they think it goes. Okay, it must be logical. They also have comic strip stories. The comics have empty speech bubbles, and they fill them up with whatever they think the characters are saying. And there are many more activities. Oh, well, silent dictation. Picture dictation is very common too. And this is where the teacher dictates a picture, but they can't see it. She just dictates what's on a picture. The students draw what they hear, and in the end they compare what they have, and then they compare it with the real picture that the teacher presents. So it keeps them engaged, and it does help you practice the language. What am I going to need? Well, obviously the projectors and the whiteboards, we've got that. The notebooks, if a child doesn't have a notebook, I will have extra ones that have been donated. And some of them are practically brand new, if not new. And I will take some flashcards and games, some material that has been that can be donated. And it may include textbooks and handouts, and I will be getting the copies of these handouts at the school. Now for evaluation, besides rubrics and checklists, I have what I call self-evaluation. I think it is important for students to reflect upon their performance and upon their attitude during the month. There are 5 questions that I ask. Each one is worth 2 decimals so that they arrive at 1 point. I call them one by one, and I ask them to answer yes or no, not maybe so, yes or no. And the questions are the following. Number 1, was my material always in class? Number 2, did I make relevant comments to enrich the class, and did I ask questions to clear up my doubts? Number 3, did I pay attention to the class and instructions and to the person that was presenting or speaking? Number 4, did I get to work immediately without wasting time? And number 5, did I let others work, including the teacher? Now, a lot of the students, in order to get the full point, will say yes to all of them. But since I'm very kind, I guide them through the path of righteousness, and I tell them, no, my dear, you're wrong. In this case, well, I'm sorry you didn't do this, but you did do this, okay? So you must focus on the positive aspects too. Now, I know that there will be problems emerging, and that really doesn't scare me. I think rules should be set from the very beginning. I think also that in order to demand respect, I must give respect myself. I will be kind, but I will be firm. And I realize that teenagers do like discipline. They do like discipline, and sometimes they don't get it at their house. They like discipline, they like to work. They like their work to be taken seriously and respected, and I think that helps a lot to keep the class going and flowing smoothly. I will face problems as they arise, always with a sense of justice, or always with a sense of respect for the students. These are my sources in case you want to go over them and check out some of the things that I have said. Maybe you're interested in them. And I just want to thank you for your kind attention to my presentation. Have a nice day. Thank you.